First step would be to put your fabric right sides together when you're cutting it out so that the pins are going to end up on the wrong side of the fabric. So I take a small-headed pin and I stick it through every point of the dart. I take my scissors and do a little snip at the top of the dart. Just clip the top of the dart. Not a big snip, but just a small one. Stick the pins through every dot on the dart, and then turn the fabric over and stick corresponding pins through on this side. So now I have pins on both sides of my fabric. Okay, like that. Then I gently remove my tissue, and you can see that I use small-headed pins that have to come through my pattern so I can take, then I don't pull a great big hole in my pattern. And you want to be careful that you don't pull your pins out. Marking darts this way is my favorite way to do them because it's fast, it's very accurate, and it does not permanently mark even a fine fabric. Now we're going to just gently pull this apart, pull the fabric apart, like that, and then pin the dart in place. So I'm going to take one pin and stick it over to the other pin. And there's the end of the dart, so I'm going to just fold that now and line up my clip at the top, run the pin through. You can see this is a pretty shaped short dart, and the bottom pin goes on the horizontal. So now I can remove those back pins. When you're pinning the dart like this, think about how it's going in the machine. I'm going to stitch this dart from the top down, so it's going in the machine just like that. And of course you would pin this one exactly the same way with the small pins. Okay, we'll remove the pins on the back side. And then I take a piece of narrow fine line tape. Masking tape would work just as well. Fine line tape is tape that you can purchase from an auto painting supply. It isn't quite as sticky as masking tape. Now you can see that I can really shape the curve of that dart like that. I want to come right to my clip at the top. So I put my tape on, and then I move my pin with the fabric held in my fingers so it doesn't shift. I move my pin so that it's out of the way of my stitching. Okay, now we're going to go to the sewing machine and start at the top and stitch just next to the tape and come off down at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to stitch a couple of stitches and back stitch. And I don't want to stitch on my tape, I want to stitch right next to it. And I'm going to come down and come off the fabric right at the pin. And leave a fairly long thread. And then do a tailor's knot. And snip your thread, top and bottom. And remove your pins, and you have a dart stitched. To tie a tailor's knot, you want to leave your threads fairly long. So snip them off, give yourself enough thread to work with. Then you're going to loop your thread around your fingers, stick the end through the loop, get a hold of the loop with your fingers and pull it down against your fabric, just like that. And then put your thumb on it and pull it. So make a loop, put your ends through the loop, pull it down onto your fabric, and if you have trouble here, you can put a pin in that loop to pull against and pull it.